Alexander Bublik, one of the strangest players on tour. He is capable of beating top players and in the process making shots like these. While at the same time, he has previously stated he hates playing tennis, and from time to time pulls out shots like these. Bublik has been a polarizing figure in the tennis scene for quite some time now, and over the past few years has generally mulled around the 30 to 50 range in the rankings. Never dropping form for too long, but also never really making a breakthrough to solidify himself as a consistent contender in tournaments. Coming into 2023, Bublik was ranked number 36th and had just had arguably the best season of his career, as despite some, let's say, hiccups, he won his first career tour level title, finished with a positive record, and even had a few top 10 wins sprinkled in. All seemed clear for Bublik to take another step forward in 2023. But by the halfway point of the season, his results had been absolutely underwhelming to say the least. After the French Open ended, Bublik sat at an abysmal record of 7-18 on the season, and had only won more than 2 matches in a row once, and at one point even dropped outside the top 50 for the first time in almost 3 years. But you know what, grass season is coming up, and surely he could produce some results on his favorite surface, right? Oh. So at this point, not much hope is left for Bublik to salvage this season. I mean, he's only got like 3 more weeks on grass and then it's back to normal. Best case scenario, he stops losing most first rounds he plays and at least collects enough points in the latter half of the season to keep himself in the top 60. That brings us to Halle, a grass court 500 which Bublik would participate in next. Coming into the tournament, Bublik sat at a 3% chance to win the event. Bublik's first round match came against 7th seeded Borna Coric, and the Kazakh actually provided a pretty convincing display, annihilating the Croatian 6-3-6-1. Sasha followed it up by beating Jan-Lennard Struff, who was randomly turned into a top 15 level player in the last month or so. Struff played pretty well, but Bublik and his 23 aces ultimately prevailed in 3 sets. Next up would be Jannik Sinner in the quarters, who had just beaten Bublik relatively easily the tournament before. However, this time it was Bublik who went God mode, perhaps remembering that Sinner turns into playoff Joel Embiid every time he has to play an important match. Nevertheless, after a highly contested first set, which Bublik won 7-5, and after dropping 2 straight games to start the second set, Sinner pulled out due to a major case of pussyitis, a leg injury. I truly do like Sinner, as I think when he's on, he is very fun to watch, and at times he can seem genuinely unbeatable. But in the biggest matches he folds far too often, and is quickly developing a reputation as a choker, which, coming from an Atlanta Falcons fan, is probably one of the last things you want to be known as. Hopefully he makes a full recovery by the time Wimbledon rolls around, but even if he does, I have a hard time believing he'll make a deep run in the tournament. Regardless, this was still an extremely impressive performance from Alexander Bublik. He did an excellent job matching Sinner's intensity, and likely would have beaten Sinner anyways had he not pulled out. The best was yet to come for Bublik, however, as he played arguably the best match of his career against Alexander Zverev in the semis. The Kazakh tormented Zverev all match long with his drop shots and incredible serving. Over the course of the match, Bublik won 94% of first serve points and 74% of second serve points, and only faced 1 break point throughout the whole match, which he saved. In the end, Bublik won 6-3-7-5 to move into his first career ATP 500 final, where he would face Andrei Rublev, who was coming off a stellar clay season that saw him win his first career Masters 1000 event. Bublik was not phased, however, as he picked up right where he left off from his match against Zverev, taking the first set 6-3 and thrashing Rublev with his serves and net game. The Russian bounced back in the second set, winning it 6-3, but it was Bublik who proved to be the most resilient, taking the third set 6-3 to win his first career 500 title. As he had done so all week, Bublik provided yet another incredible serving display, hitting 21 aces as well as 11 double faults, winning 87% of first serve points and 75% of second serve points. After the match, Bublik stated, "It really means the world to me. I've been struggling for half a year, and now having this as a reward, I don't take it for granted. I could not even imagine that I would win this tournament, and I'm really happy." Thanks to this result, Bublik was propelled to number 26th in the rankings, a new career high, and his 2023 record improved to 13-19, which is still admittedly pretty atrocious, but it's a nice step forward regardless. Now that Bublik has won the crown in Halle, some people are pointing to him as a potential dark horse to make a deep run in Wimbledon, and I'm here to tell you that that almost certainly won't happen. I feel like Bublik just had his week where he suddenly plays leaps and bounds better than he usually does, and will revert back to usual form by Wimbledon. However, I think his focus shouldn't even really be on Wimbledon that much. It should be more so focusing on future 250s and 500s that he might be able to make a splash in as well. Take Borna Coric for example. After he won the Cincinnati Open out of nowhere last year, people were saying that he would make a deep run in the US Open, and he lost in the second round. But his form noticeably improved in the next few tournaments, as he made a 500 semifinal, the Madrid semis, and the Rome quarters. Much better than his results before Cincinnati. I think we can expect much the same from Bublik. Likely not a great Wimbledon result, but noticeable improvements in the preceding tournaments. But what do you guys think? Is Bublik a legit contender to make a deep run in Wimbledon or not? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.